With Star Trek Picard Season 3 in full swing, many new starship designs are quickly becoming canon. And one of these designs, the Pathfinder Class, actually has a connection of sorts to a previous Star Trek series, from the first golden age of Star Trek Voyager. But what's the story behind this gorgeous starship class? Well, today we'll find out. Hello and welcome to Backtrek, a web series that focuses on the background information of any given topic in Star Trek. In today's episode, we're taking a look at the Pathfinder class, as first seen in Star Trek Online, to better understand its place in Star Trek history. Please note, the information provided about this class is from Star Trek Online and Star Trek Online alone. Therefore, there may be some conflicting information in regards to canon itself. For example, in Star Trek Online, the class was commissioned in 2410, whereas Star Trek Picard takes place almost a decade before that, meaning the launch date for this class in STO would be in direct conflict with Alpha Canon. Also, I'd like to say a huge thank you to Thomas Maroney for answering all my questions and providing me with a wealth of information on the Pathfinder class. And so now, with all that out of the way, let's begin. My first contact with Star Trek Online happened many Vulcan moons ago, as I was selected to be a beta tester for the game. Of course, things were very different back then. Having just a few missions and only a couple of starships to start out with, Star Trek Online has certainly grown into something both special and important to the Star Trek community. Thomas Maroney, art director for Star Trek Online, and 3D modeler and starship designer extraordinaire, brought the Pathfinder class to life. As part of Star Trek Online's second expansion known as Delta Rising, the STO team quickly decided that they needed to bring the next evolution of starship designs into the game, introducing the Tier 6 starship designs. And since Delta Rising was all about the Delta Quadrant, revisiting many of those famous Star Trek species Voyager had long since left behind, obviously a new Intrepid-class starship, one for the 25th century, was a must-have. Thomas Maroney, a new member of the team at the time, would be given this daunting task, and in my opinion would nail it. Going back to the concept art of Rick Sternbach for Voyager's design, and looking at the already in-game variants on the Intrepid class itself, Thomas would use these designs to craft something boldly new, yet with a clear lineage back to Voyager. And once Thomas's design for the Pathfinder class was approved, he went straight ahead into modeling the gorgeous starship class, adding callbacks to other starship designs, such as a clamshell shuttle bay echoing most Enterprises throughout canon history, and of course adding large cargo bay doors to the keel of the starship as a direct callback to the Excelsior class. And it's these little details that make the Pathfinder class such a treasure, and establish the class's clear starship lineage. Sitting at a length of approximately 431.4 meters, and classified as a long-range science vessel, the Pathfinder class would be designed to be operated by 166 officers and crew members. Named after the mission project charged with helping the USS Voyager find a way home, the Pathfinder class would include a quantum slipstream drive, which allowed the class to travel great distances in short bursts. The Pathfinder class also contained fin-type structures on her primary hull, which acted as wave attenuators, allowing the class to make minor course corrections while the quantum slipstream drive was active. A large secondary deflector dish, included in the starship's primary hull, allowed the Pathfinder class to maintain slipstream velocities for longer periods of time than most starship classes of the day. The Pathfinder class had a standard safe cruising speed of warp factor 7, with an emergency maximum speed of warp factor 9.99 for 12-hour increments. Due to its intended mission profile, and also taking into account the lessons learned by the USS Voyager during its trek across the Delta Quadrant, the Pathfinder class would be well armed for a ship its size and tonnage. The latest phaser emitter arrays and torpedo launching systems would ensure the maximum protection for the class, while advanced electromagnetic and emission dampening technologies would allow the Pathfinder class to stay off enemy sensors for longer periods of time. Her impressive arsenal would be matched equally by the latest scientific and exploration tools that would be included aboard her, making the Pathfinder class ideal to study a variety of scientific phenomena. The Pathfinder class's secondary hull included 2 large modular mission bays, which could be easily swapped out. Several modules were designed for this class, including a runabout shuttle bay, dedicated mission-specific science labs, additional barrack-style military areas, and even extended cargo pods, which would allow the Pathfinder class, already capable of staying out in the unknown for great periods of time, to extend her stay out in deep space. The Pathfinder class also contained a large array of auxiliary spacecraft, and an aero shuttle capable of rapid planetary surveys. The Pathfinder class would be launched in 2410 as part of the 4-quadrant strategy. As a result, the Pathfinder class would see itself become one of the most reliable designs created in the early 25th century. The USS Voyager, NCC 74656-B, would honor its namesake as a member of this class, furthering the frontier boundaries of the Federation and expanding Starfleet's knowledge of the galaxy in general, earning the Pathfinder class its valiant place in Starfleet history. The Pathfinder class is truly a credit to the legacy of Star Trek Voyager, and Thomas Maroney did an excellent job of staying true to the original Intrepid class design, while at the same time adding a wholly futuristic new level to it. And now, thanks to Season 3 of Star Trek Picard, the USS Voyager-B and the Pathfinder class are fully canon, again a testament to Thomas's amazing work. If you haven't played Star Trek Online recently, or even at all, I highly recommend you download it and play it today. The storylines, designs, and the inclusion of amazing legacy Star Trek actors' voice work serves to elevate the experience of the game to a never-before-seen level. Recently, I've seen a few people complain that Star Trek as a franchise has copped out on starship designs by no longer designing their own, rather using other sources like Star Trek Online to provide them with new vessel classes. But I don't think it's a cop-out at all, and in fact I encourage the powers that be to continue this practice. Bringing fans of the franchise and their designs into Star Trek simply consolidates a community with a reputation of being overly critical. It brings 2 of Star Trek's core values, cooperation and IDIC, infinite diversity in infinite combinations, off the screen and into real life. So kudos on them for initiating these practices, which allow talented individuals like Thomas Maroney to become a part of the Star Trek legacy. Anyhow, thank you for watching today's episode of Backtrack. What do you think of the Pathfinder class and its history? Are you excited to see what other Star Trek Online treats become canon in this last season of Star Trek Picard? Do you want to see more videos like this one? Well, leave your comments in the section below, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel, hitting that little bell icon so you won't miss a single video we release. Want to help the channel explore the Delta Quadrant in style? Then consider becoming a channel patron, a major help which allows this channel to buy resources and 3D models to keep it going. The link to our Patreon account is in the description below. Thanks again for watching. Live long and prosper.